And welcome back, everyone, on the Decoders channels. Tonight, we have a special guest, Burners from Adrastea, the new DeFi platform on top of Jupiter. And yeah, that's what I want to talk about. That's going to be interesting. Burner, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to meet you. Burner?
Yeah, hey man, thanks for
Okay.
having me out. I appreciate the time and the connection and your show. I got the vibes and appreciate everything you're doing here.
Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you for the introduction made by Arabi. That was good guy. Love the guy. Okay, so and GM everyone. GMBG. It's been a minute. It's been like literally like 30 minutes. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so Burner, can you introduce yourself to like the people in the chat on Twitter, everywhere? Yeah, tell us everything about you, your journey in Web3, and yeah, a small introduction for Adrastea. Sorry.
Cool. Yeah, no worries. And then yeah, keep me posted on if my connection and mic's all good and all that.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, so I go by Burner, Burner 208. Kind of shortened it to Burner, but I think I've been known as both. I've been around since I guess I was like a what do they call it? Top 2017. So that's kind of how I got into the space. And then by like COVID times, like 2020, I was like diving pretty deep into stuff. But then I minted the what is it? The monkey back in summer
Nice.
21, and then I'm like going hard and on Solana since, and that's pretty much short and sweet.
Nice.
Kind of what I've been
Not a
doing.
lot of people are like minted SMB, that's for sure. That's and it's still here after 3 years. 3 years, 2 years. 3
Yeah,
years?
kind of frightening thinking it's been that long.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Glana? Oh, who are you? Okay, from Kik. I want to see if you are going to offer me something. Well, anyway, probably a scam, but whatever. Okay, so and what is like Adrastea? Adrastea, fuck, sorry. Adrastea. What is it?
Yeah, no, cool.
What's your value proposition?
Definitely address native yield protocol, read high yield strategies and automate them on chain for folks to get access to the best yields on.
Okay, so and how is that difference from every other DeFi protocol?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, the first protocol of this bringing this type of thing to visible data, of course, of things like this on ETH, and then especially on
Okay.
Arbitrum, which we could probably dive into more later. But basically, DeFi yield strategies are ways of using things like index or some of these other tokens you see on DeFi,
Ooh.
and basically doing like either like or looping or things like this, getting higher yield. And so these originally came out manually, but it's extremely consuming and focused under the hood protocol. We take care of complicated
Okay.
and folks pause it.
That's cool. Yeah, you're kind of cutting off kind of like a little bit. Not crazy, but yeah, just let you know. Okay, so what's the differentiator that you have seen from Arbitrum that's what it was needed on Solana?
Yeah, so this kind of segues into something you and I talked about privately with like and so basically our first DeFi yield strategy that's coming out is automated leverage on Jupiter's JLP index
Nice.
token. And
Okay.
so the JLP built and created based off this thing called GMX and GLP on Arbitrum. And so
Mhm.
I hope that's clear with my voice that I'm saying like G, you know what I mean, for the Arbitrum. So they're GLP, not D like we have on Sol. And so those two index
Oh.
tokens are they're off like a lot of our tapping into capital efficiency. And
Okay.
so there's this whole era like the yield wars or the DeFi yield wars and stuff like that. So basically, we're just the first to bring this with this type of index token to Solana, and then we'll
Mhm.
be, expanding to some different aspects of JLP and index tokens.
Okay.
chain.
And for everyone like watching the stream, is like an index is like a basket of different tokens, even stocks, whatever. And then by buying this index, you have access to, you reduce your risk and the volatility while having the best of like performance possible, because it's balanced between those kind of assets. And that's what the GLP is doing. And Adrastea is generating yields on top of GLP, right?
Yeah, so basically keep that little screen up there. So when folks look at that, right, it says 70% of the yield from Jupiter fees are going to this JLP token. So that's why people are buying
Mhm.
this, right? Because they're
Yes.
accruing the fees from their protocol. And so Jupiter's protocol, they have the longing and the shorting. And so as you guys
Mhm.
know, futures trading generates a ton of fees. But on top of that, Jupiter's perp dex has, I don't know the percent right off the top of my head, but they have some of the highest fees for their perps trading. So basically, their pool is generating a ton of APY.
Okay.
And so basically, what we're doing is we're taking that with this first vault strategy and we're leveraging it at a 2x. So let's say JLP pool is giving you 100% APY. Our protocol gives you 200 APY. That's the idea.
Oh, how do you do that?
Yeah. So there's going to be two vaults. Our website, you're going to see a vault that says JLP and USDC vault. So we take our liquidity from our USDC vault and basically leverage the JLP on chain to get the leverage. It's auto rebalancing, so volatility is going to be kind of but the aim is that the way we attract that USDC liquidity is by providing, if not the highest, one of the highest USDC yields on Solana.
Okay. That's cool. That's efficient. Okay, I'm trying to load the website. I don't know. It's addressia.fi, right?
Our
Oh,
website, I had like a little bit, but we're actually working our beta coming, I think early next week. So we're kind of doing like a what's the word?
cleaning up.
Redo. So there's nothing you can pull up there right now.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, no problem. Okay, so one of the risks associated to that kind of leveraging, because that's how people get wrecked, kind of. So how do you protect your user?
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be, there's obviously risk, like you stated, right? And so the
Yeah.
main way we mitigate this is by the auto rebalancing in the protocol. So I
Okay.
mean, when we said strategies, ways where maybe you're leverage on your stuff and you're doing like 4x. And so 4x, but when it comes to like index tokens, it's pretty high. So people can
Mm-hmm.
get wrecked very easy. So the idea of having a fixed leverage on our is the leverage and forget other than 2x we are. And
Okay.
so we're going to be rebalancing investments in real time. The only way they would get wiped out on their leverage is if we had like
Okay.
one coin drops like 50% in like a minute or something like that, and the vaults don't auto rebalance. But let's say that 50% drawdown happened over the course of like a day, obviously rebalance in time. So it's a pretty scenario where they're going to get
Okay.
wiped. But another thing I'll add is for folks who want to avoid that, the USDC vault isn't market exposed. That's no risk there. Basically using a web.
Okay. And for the USDC Vault, you use the performance of the other one, or like how do you get it? If it
Yeah, like you mean where's the yield generated from?
from the
Yeah,
USDC.
yeah. So the USDC yield, so the JLP vault generates the yield, and a portion goes back to each
Okay.
vault, and that's how it.
Nice. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so if I buy GLP, I deposit it on your platform and I double my performance because you do you, and then I get 200% instead of 70%.
Like
That's cool.
100%, 200%. Yeah, and so
Nice.
the idea, like there's a lot of holding these things like long term, like when it comes to stable coins and index tokens, right? So it's not like you have to put your whole bag, but it's like it's a good way to diversify and maybe put some
Mm,
of your long term holding for you. So it's like a more risk on version. But if you're
Yes.
holding a lot of GLP already, it kind of makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, if I want to diversify, I will buy GLP. I get the basket. Okay. So, and what's interesting with like GLP? It's always going up, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically, if traders are getting wrecked, it's going up. So I mean, it's kind of in a unique position there. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Can you explain that?
So basically, when people lose their long, when they're paying fees on their trading for futures trading on Jupiter, that's what's generating the yield. So the more fees are
Okay.
generated on the platform, the more JLP is accruing value.
Oh, wait. But like all of the traders are like they lose money. Like 99% of traders lose money. So by buying Jupe, you're betting of the poor performance of traders. So you're gonna your 99% chance of time to win. Is that?
Yeah, it's kind of but then you also, of course, have the exposure to those underlying assets. So it
Yeah.
kind of balances, or else it would be like rock. No, it's like because you've got the stable coins in the basket,
Mhm.
the Bitcoin. It's kind of like it's like a slow grind up, but it's looking bullish, especially in a bull market.
That's yeah. That's exactly okay. I think I'm gonna rebalance my portfolio. I like it. It's cool. Um, what's your exposition to your personal exposition to GLP?
What do
Like how
you
do
say?
you like build your portfolio around the GLP yourself?
Yeah, so index took for a little while, so I just went to
Okay.
the
Yes.
JLP. I'm interested in is the flat P, like similar, but it has like a different weight.
Okay. Is that already on Perlite or is that lunch? FLP you said?
Yeah, FLP. Yeah, so that's like Flash Trade's version of
Oh.
the Jupiter JLP.
Okay. That.
Wonder why the chart looks like that, but yeah.
Me neither. What the fuck?
You know what that might have been is maybe they increased the cap on that or something
Okay.
at the
Yeah, me
not sure.
neither. But okay, that's interesting. Um, hmm, I like it. It's cool, and that's the fact that you are the only one on the market doing that setup with Chup, right? You have partnership.
Yeah, with the JLP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Like is when we look months down the line, we want to be the made a strategy protocol on
Hmm.
something with this launch. There'll be flash type of things, delta neutral, Jupiter things, and maybe some other protocols that the team's already looking at. So it's beyond just Jupiter, but full first the top of Jupiter. And so our name, we were about before, so that's named after a moon in Jupiter
Yeah,
in space, and that goes around Jupiter. So it's kind of like paying homage to
that makes sense.
the big homie that we're out
So,
their ecosystem.
so you're gonna rebrand when you're gonna integrate everything else.
Yeah, that's funny. Not quite, but it's the humble beginnings.
Okay, that makes sense. And is there a difference between? I think I saw that in your thread that where you explain everything. Like there is difference between Jupiter itself and like the Oracle, where all of the DeFi protocol used to get the pricing, etc. Is that benefit to just like not integrate, but yeah, call Jupiter for the like the base price assets?
I mean, it depends on like market wow in particular.
Yeah, for the protocol. Where did I say that?
Yeah, so for us, just because this strategy is built on top of Jupiter, it
Yeah,
gets us like with the minimum
yeah, makes
variance.
sense. That
Yeah.
that makes sense. Hmm. Yeah. I like it. Okay, I'm excited. And so, like, you're gonna launch the Adra token too, right? It's all coming all together soon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. Let's see. So we see around in early January. Um, a part of that were some DAOs on Solana. So we had the Monkey Venge, Yog DAO, Dead Kings,
Mm.
Champions, Hollows, and Midcurve, which was ETH, small seed round there, and then the tokens been pretty much rebuilt the platform. And so the idea for like a rough timeline is we've got a week. We'll do the Jupiter round 3 launch pad, which will probably take like another month and a half, and then we'll launch the token for public sale and mainnet launch kind of in tandem there.
Okay, and what's your expectation and tracker KPIs for a successful launch? What do you target?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Like in terms of like TVL or like user deposits in the pools?
Yeah, I mean, teams wanted me to be kind of tight-lipped about this, but I mean, we're looking at a few different ways of like going about it. We're still fleshing out like
Mm.
tokenomics and things like
Okay.
this. One thing I would say is that we do plan on like finding ways to inspire of like the beta and the early community and things like that. So definitely something to look into
Okay.
there if you're looking to get exposed.
That's vault risk. Okay, Adrastea vault automatically rebalance to keep your risk in order, meaning that in time of high market volatility, liquidity will be adjusted to maintain. That's what you mentioned as no direct exposure. Okay. So yeah, same thing because the risk that's like I remember my Binance days when I was like on PancakeSwap, and then you get your cake, and then you can leverage in 1 or 2 or 3 layers of protocols, and then like Pancake Bunny.
Yeah, Pancake is real degen. I remember that from back in
That was bro. That was like 200 years ago.
it feels
Um,
like
like I remember when they launched the NFT part. That was good. That was fun. After a couple of like NFTs on Solana, I was like getting I was able to use my cake to resell some NFTs at 16 BNB. That was cool. After being done like 80%, but yeah, bro, like the Binance Smart Chain, like level of degeneracy on shitcoin and stuff, it's even worse than Solana. But yeah, like there is always like one protocol, like you deposit, so you take your cake, you go to Pancake Bunny, then you get another LP, and then you get to a third or fourth layers of DeFi and stuff, and then you get like 10,000 APY. Yeah, that was something. Like the index stuff, it's make more sense. It's 200% is nice.
yeah, it's like a little bit more like what is the word? Like real, I guess you could say. I mean, it's on chain. It's more like automated DeFi yield strategies. It's more like um trading yields as opposed to like the
Mm,
Ponzi farm, like like some of the stuff. I did this like sushi fork like thing as a user back in the day on ETH, where
yeah.
you get those. It's not like a like what are those? You know what I mean? Where you get the
Mm,
crazy APIs. It's more like on-chain automated trading of like generating assets that are already
mm,
there. It's like, yeah, I mean, I've definitely as a user done some pretty degen stuff back in the day. I think, that whole era really topped with the Pancake. I don't really
yeah.
remember doing much over there.
After pancake swap. Like, yeah,
For a
no,
while.
100%. Like, yeah, cake. I bought it at 13, and I was a fucking genius for 2 weeks because it went to 45, 43, 45, and then it crashed down. Right now, I think from time to time, I check it, and it's like $3 or something like that. But yeah, that was the good time. I did another like launch protocol, and the APY was like insane. It was like 50,000% for a couple of minutes. That was the good old days. But yeah, like even on Solana, like what do you see that is still missing into the DeFi ecosystem?
Yeah.
Because it
So,
it
I
matters
mean,
a lot.
it's, I mean, it's not on chain. I think one thing that's missing is
Mm,
education. And sorry to like shield this in here, but basically, like another thing we're doing is like a pretty big DeFi education program. So, like when I mentioned like our or like part
yeah.
of the reason we're kind of partnering with like NFT communities and things like this is like when you think of Solana back in the day, uh, I think of like NFTs, but now they're sort of changing, and there's kind of like a pretty strong emerging DeFi wave in the space. It's like we got
Mm,
them, you got doing, and so I still think there's like a lot of users who are like in the NFT sphere that aren't getting exposed to these things. So I think there needs to be some type of like bridge between the ecosystems to guide front. So DeFi education is one big thing where we have like a weekly lesson, and there's like a weekly Twitter Spaces and
that's
all
cool.
this stuff. But to answer your more directly, I think it's kind of like, I was talking who was like, and then like back in the day, you had to work so hard to get information, but nowadays it's like there's so much deep kind of
Hmm.
like one is like on game in a simple way, like kind of like writing education and how to get involved, like
Mm.
without having to get so like gigabrain about it. You know what I mean? Knowing it's
Yeah,
something the average user can access.
but yeah, like if you don't know what to do, you like the onboarding on into the DeFi ecosystem on Sol or even on ETH, like it's nightmare, bro. Like the user experience is garbage. Like
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I'm saying. We were making things like simple as
mm,
possible, clear as possible.
yeah.
But as far as
But
like super cool new protocol, I'm not too sure what the space
yeah.
is totally missing.
100%. And kind of like, yeah, back to PancakeSwap, like it was pretty simple. Like you have like 50 pool, you deposit your BNB slash cake slash like whatever, and job done, then you wait. Like you don't have this, yeah, insane like leverage of like 4 times and loop and keep looping, right? But like with you, because you're doing it automatically and you rebalance it the way you want, then it's kind of like it's optimization, but easiest.
And like the
Mm,
stuff when we talk about the vaults and things like that, people often are like, wow, pretty complex. And I think the idea is like we reap the full on information of what's happening under the hood for folks who want to know. But
mm,
from a user standpoint, like it's degen proof. Like you're going to go to the beta next week, and there's basically two buttons. You can deposit, draw. And I
yeah,
mean, if you don't know what's happening under the hood, hit the yield. And there's no period or stake period or anything like that. So you can deposit, withdraw, same 5 minutes or whatever.
okay. And what's the business model for as a protocol? Like, do you take like a performance fees or how does that work?
Yeah, so basically the yield's gonna get split 3 ways. So it's gonna go 2 parts to those vaults like we discussed before, and then a third chunk will go back to the protocol. And so should this back to token holders, or like, so we're looking at ways to incentivize people who are holding as well. So that'll be interesting.
Okay, that's okay. And in terms of like the token and so the tokenomics, you said it's not like finish, right?
Yeah.
But for the launch of the token, like with what we saw in the last couple of airdrop between Sharky, Tensor, like Wormhole, etc., like which projects made you feel okay? Those guys understand, or those guys didn't like make a huge mistake, and like what did you learn from those launches?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know with all the airdrops and all the things that are dropping, like coming out now with tokens, like if you haven't learned from what's happened, I think that's kind of like it's become pretty clear on like what people are wanting to see and what people aren't happy about. I mean, I think a lot of these things too are like they're pretty VC as well,
Mm,
invest beforehand, and I think that also ends up like really warping the economics and all these things too.
yeah,
Um, and so I think that adds to things. We don't have any like significant pre-funding, so I think that makes a difference in how the tokenomics will shape out.
that's
Uh,
interesting.
we did do that pre-seed round. It was pretty small amount dollar wise. So I think overall it should be looking pretty balanced. And obviously, with everything we've seen, uh, we the cognition to not make this make. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You will have a team vesting period.
Oh yeah, all the vesting stuff is good to go. So yeah, to add that for folks who did the pre-seed folks are vested for 9 months and team is 12 months.
Okay, that's good. Is there any cliff?
Let me the team's 12-month and the vest I think is 6 month.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's long term,
Yeah.
especially in crypto. But like, yeah, that's an interesting point. Like when you have you have like a VC backed Web3 project with like the time frame of investment, it's basically one cycle. So your VC wants to get out when the bull market is coming back. If you invested like in the previous cycle, um, and yeah, you can launch something, but then you want to exit your VC at the highest valuation possible. So basically, the community is buying back the VC.
Yeah, it's such a balance too though because so much fun these projects are getting. But then they obviously look not great when that what you just described plays out. But
Yeah,
then people keep fucking buying it. So I mean, I don't. It's just it's an interesting.
yeah.
It's an interesting world that we're in for sure.
That's 100%. Yeah, same thing for the NFT ecosystem, right? Like when like the best project had the best Ponzi for 6 months, 1 year, and when the music stopped, then everything is going to shit, right? And I
Yeah.
don't think we have ever cracked that secret formula of NFT slash token slash crypto for long term. Like, yeah, maybe layer one.
Yeah, I think it's just folks who are really trying to like things that last or things that like try to build. NFTs is a whole other subject, but when it
Mm,
comes to like like I look at Jupiter, I feel like that's a pretty me as this isn't me speaking
yeah,
like team, but just me as a user, like that seems like a clear lock to me just based on like, stuff they're generating both on
yeah,
chain. Where then you look at like you could say like I don't know to use an example, but like some different risk profiles, I guess. And
yeah,
with the NFT thing, I mean, my main thing like was always the NFT back in the day, and it's like to see it like let's say the music stopped. I haven't really seen anything NFTs Mad Lads really, but it's like
exactly.
it'll be interesting to see how like the meta changes, like especially with meme coins. Like I could see NFTs being really valuable as like a gated like entry to communities and things like that, or like airdrops or like almost like financial ticket incentives. But it's like, will we ever see like DJ season going to be fun? I'm not sure.
Mm. Maybe with the SPL for extensions.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
that could be something because like even for DeFi, right? Because again, you have a protocol, you will have your token attached to an NFT, so you will have the social proof on crypto Twitter. You can increase you have free marketing, and then you have your token that you can use the way you want in your app, and it's everything is intertwined together. That could be definitely, yeah, can't wait to see that unfold for sure. Uh, are you going to have like a address PFP collection?
No, I definitely yeah, and that's pretty funny too because we do like we have like a whitelist for our token sale, and there was like summer giveaways and stuff like that. And so for like real early back, like in February, like a lot of people were like, "When is the mint?" And we don't make NFTs, like you know what I mean? We do DeFi, and so that was pretty funny. So we've made jokes about it, but
Mm,
I don't think we'll do any like NFT collect.
yeah, just wait for like the government's token to get out, and your first proposal will be SPL4 for collection.
Right, right.
I mean, it's if the community wants it. Mm. But yeah, it's we'll see. Like, yeah, this year would be definitely Interesting to see where it goes. Do you think like the bull run will continue, or did we top up?
I personally think for sure, it's gonna keep going. See, like, what the summer vibe is, but
Mm,
I don't think it's topped out for
yeah, let's go.
sure.
I mean, the ETF that probably changed everything.
Wait, sorry, what'd you say? What changed
The
everything?
the ETF, the Bitcoin ETF.
Right. Uncharted waters, and, like, there's definitely, like, days where I get a little, like, oh, like, and there's so many, like, conflicting opinions too, and, like, some people say, like, "Well, the bull market started the day we back,
Mm.
15," you know what I mean? I'm like, I got a way to look at it, but I don't really feel that way personally. Um it's like, I don't know. This joke probably won't work. Are you familiar with the Lord of the Rings? Did you watch those?
Yes, yes. Yeah,
You know, they
there
have,
is no
like, that
trilogy. But
prequel, The Hobbit, you know? It's like that's like saying, like, the bull market or the Lord of the Rings started with The Hobbit. It's like, I guess it kinda did, but it's like we're not at movie 1. Or you get what
yeah,
I'm it's
but like
man, I
yeah.
think turn in the whatsoever.
Nah, yeah. Yeah, I saw some tweets and like some content saying like we are in the middle of the cycle already, which means like yeah, it could be like again ended in like 25, 26, and we will go parabolic only at that time, like 2, 3 months before again, like before the end of the cycle.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of, like, emerging trends
Yeah,
to still
no, 100%. And that would probably like impact DeFi on Solana in the next few months. That bro, that's so exciting. Like,
yeah, I think DeFi right now is in
yeah,
like, a pretty good summer for that. So I feel like we're in a good position for
100%. Uh,
for
That's cool. So yeah, how do you plan to? What's gonna be the process for the launch? Do you know?
yeah, so we're starting this beta next week, right? Be strategy that we touched on a bit.
Okay.
We haven't heard word yet of when the Jupiter round is will be is we'll start that, and then it's kind of like that's how long it takes. And that will alongside the token. Then there's going to be like points for people, the vaults and things like that. Points with the platform. Um, so after this leverage LP, we're probably the first thing we're going to come out with would probably be the leverage P, which is Flash Trade's token. And then the team's also right now working on a delta neutral JLP. So basically, just real quick, what
Mhm.
that is, if folks don't know delta neutral, so it's like the protocol will automatically short the asset in the JLP, while the JLP won't be exposed to the asset. So that's what they're working.
Which you can use in like ranging market. No,
Yeah. Mhm.
that's cool.
And it's pretty funny. All this congestion on Solana, as you know, and from a user standpoint, it's like pretty much Gene. I've been able to do transactions just fine for the
Yeah,
last like week or two,
yeah.
but from a dev standpoint, on like the back end, have been extremely challenging for teams. And so, kind of ironically, so we were supposed to have the beta out. Like we've had the beta ready for, uh, gosh, like at least 3 or 4 weeks now, but
Jesus.
stuff we haven't loaded. And now basically got these vaults and auto rebalancing and like all these like comp like the last thing on that right now is that like you've got all these like crazy vaults and auto
Okay.
rebalancing things, but then it's like the connect wallet or something like unknown.
Yeah.
We were the Jupiter team, and they like do with the connect wallet
Mhm.
on their side of fix and shit. But it's just a funny like juxtaposition, like basically waiting on the chain. So in the background, while we've kind of had this time deal, we've already got kind of the next strategies getting built out.
You
Basically,
have
is
the
the point of my
V2. Yeah,
story.
that's good. That's good. And like, how does that works when the Solana is okay? The chain is down or even like slow. How does that works for like, for example, for the leverage? Do you get wipe out if the chain is completely off?
No, there's nothing wrong, basically. It'll join. Nobody would the chain is going slow or something like that.
Okay. Okay. So okay. So only a flash crash, like or crash of the asset, would make the price. Mm. Look, you can't exit if there is a congestion. How does that works? Like if there is a congestion and like to trigger the program, uh, it's slow and the transaction is not processed, and you can a user exit before it gets processed.
Right. I think if the chain went down, the main it'd probably be people being able to like withdraw and get the successful transaction on their withdraw. But if the
Mhm.
asset's not crashing, the
Yeah.
rebound is
Okay.
significant. That's a good question though, because I feel like spaces and thing I should definitely start touching on more. So I'll double check with our devs and see how that all works
Yeah.
out. But from my understanding, outside of a
Mm.
crash in the chain, that the price is what will
Mm.
affect the leverage.
Yeah. Well, I bet. Anyway, it will never happen again, so you're safe.
Maybe we'll see. You never know. You know, with Solana, like it's still getting. Like I don't know much about dev stuff, but I know they
Mm.
say like the Rust, I guess, is the coding language they use and all that stuff.
Mm.
I don't know. I think people are still figuring out how to make Solana operate at a high level.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's some blockchain consensus mechanism that's kind of tricky when you get like 10,000 meme coin lunch a day or some and spam by bots.
Right. Yeah, the bots are really
Yeah. And yeah, one of the things they can do is like increase the fees transaction, but then we're gonna be a ETH layer two.
yeah, and I think that's been like a big like thing we've all been joking about, but I'm under the understanding that I mean, I guess you never know, right? Because if it got super big, but I think the way Solana works inherently, it would still be pretty cheaper than what we
Yeah.
see on
And
ETH.
I think I read that in the doc, but like if an app is really like used a lot, the fees of the program run in the background should increase, but only for that app specifically, for that program, and not the whole network would pay and increase fees, but only, for example, like Jupiter goes crazy usage. Only the Jupiter program will charge a lot to validate the transaction.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like a great way to optimize things compared to
100%.
like how you see ETH just all fees across the board.
Yeah, like bro, like for I was using like a flow protocol just to sign the transaction, not even sign the transaction, like to authorize the app to interact with your wallet. You paid like $50, $8 of
I haven't
like,
used I haven't used ETH or any L2s in years, and there was something that piqued my interest. All right, I'll try it out. And I have ETH bricked on there now because actually I haven't checked in a bit because I think the gas is lower now, right? But for a
yeah.
while there, the fee was 160 to take out
Mm.
bucks. So I
Like
was
what the
just
fuck, man?
that's just bricked. Yeah.
Like what the heck? And do you see like Solana like acting as like can the liquidity of an ETH can come on Solana one day and start a DeFi mega summer?
I uh, I think the more it grows and these are optimized, that we're going to be for the more. I
Mm,
mean, ETH is always going to be ETH. So I mean, for time, but I mean, you're already seeing like like Anna's TVL and activity. I
mm,
think over time, it's definitely going to be take this. I think that for my understanding, just the emerging in the DeFi space, like it's looking pretty. What's the word? It's looking
yeah.
better.
Okay. Bullish. bullish on Adrastea because yeah, if you become big on the behalf of like yeah Jupiter and all of the other apps, that could be cool. I mean, if the objective is like to be number one, that's what's up. That's good.
Yeah, and you know, to tie to like we've talked about risk a few times on our chats, like
Yeah.
the different weights of different tokens help like, different profiles too. So that's another advantage to offering different strategies. It's like when you look at that
Mm.
JLP basket, and like for listeners, remember Vincent, the basket of the soul weight in there is like I'm not sure what it is today, but it's like around 40%, right? And so that's like pretty volatile for an index token. When you look at like Flash Trade, their index token is at like 25% soul weight, which means it's a less like volatile exposure to the market. I mean, I think one of the like different automated platform is there'll be different risk profiles for
Okay.
different.
That's okay. That's interesting. And like, okay, kind of like on Meteora when you choose like the kind of pool you want, right? Like with the curve. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
that's cool.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
And
and it's good.
I go for it.
Oh, I was gonna say it's foolish because it's not like competing with these protocols, but it's like fleshing out their ecosystems. Because at the end of the day, more people are getting more of their token when it comes down to it. And so, main protocol we're building on top of are getting more users. Our users are yield, so it's like a win for everybody. So it feels like
Mm.
like what is the word like an ally in the space trying to kind of just build everything up and get people higher yields
Yeah.
rather than like competing for share, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you will be a superset of all of the DeFi application, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like again back to Binance, but like it's Beefy Finance, right? Doing that on the blockchain on a BNB.
You said beefy?
Beefy Finance.
I'm not too sure if I knew that one.
Um, let me check quickly, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the case. Beefy Finance. Beef. Okay, I'm not going to the Twitter search. Oh yes, no Beefy Finance. Okay, let me show you. Do you remember this one? Yeah, the yield optimizer. Boom. Way to earn more crypto auto compound token on beefy.com. Okay.
I, sounds a little similar. I would say for folks who want to look into something similar to research, like we mentioned earlier, the GLP wars on Arbitrum, and there's like a good idea of like historical data of like TVL and things that have worked or didn't
Nice.
work.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
That
Let
makes
me look
sense.
into this beefy though. I might have retired from the BNB world by the time this dropped. I swear, I think Pancake was the last thing I did, and then
Yeah.
I don't know if I got rugged on there or what happened, but I was like, all right, I'm done.
They're still up. I checked like a couple of weeks ago. They're still here. Like that the volume. I was there checking on DeFi Llama. That was like yeah, that was not good. But honestly, like kind of it's interesting because the low fees on Binance kind of like created this meme coin, shitcoin mania, and that basically killed the chain when like Solana run with like the NFT summer, etc. And
Right.
then we had this DeFi. It could have happened the same fucking shit on Solana. I don't know exactly why we don't have like a. We have a lot of meme coins, right? But like we didn't have the same garbage that uh, we had on Binance that basically like
Yeah,
make the whole chain useless, right?
yeah. Binance, God. Uh,
Yeah.
um, obviously in an echo bubble of like I'm only using Sol and everyone I talk to is on Sol, so it's like take it with a
Yeah.
grain of salt. But my understanding is I feel like, and you know, it's surprised even people using their money how much like or like what is the word? I mean, but
Hmm.
different chains I feel like attract different vibes, and I feel like what's unique about Solana is there's kind of like the more like I mean, serious sounds lame. I don't want to say serious. I mean, like people are really trying to like build things and do things like the way they do on ETH, but it's got some of those like optimal feed BNB. Where like for me, actually, I always associated BNB as like my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that more and more like
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, that kind of killed the chain because you can do shit. Yeah, if you want to launch something semi-serious, then it's not the right culture. Which is kind of what happened with Polygon. Like for example, when like youths moved to Polygon, trying to have these corporate deals, right? And it didn't play out. Like it's hard to create a culture that is not matching the chain that you are in. And Solana has basically everything.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. I
Mm.
totally agree.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
bullish on Sol. Yeah. Let's buy more. Did you buy when it was like 8, 13? How did you feel at that time?
Well, I'm like pretty committed at this point. So
Okay.
down there, not all the in like the teens, obviously as I should have in my friend group all the time. Like if we were here, like I don't know how deep in the NFT we were, but like the Lily NFT minted like in the depths of like I think like 2 days after the DX thing.
Mm.
If you were still minting shit 2 days after that, like we all should have bought like way more Sol. I mean, how much
Jesus.
more conviction you get if you were here in those trenches, but
True.
not as much as I should have for sure.
The number of Sol that I've wasted on shit and garbage, bro.
Yeah, tired would just be more painful.
Yeah, so man, like at some point with all of my DGOT bags, ABC, but I had 35,000 Sol worth of NFTs.
And so you use it or you just let them go down or
Let's write down everything.
full time?
Yeah, exactly. And now I'm gonna use Adrastea to catch up.
Right. It's time to make it. Time to make it
Exactly.
back. I'm still bullish on DeGods. I think they've like established themselves as like I wish I held one.
Yeah.
I was even just looking at these exiled DeGods. I don't know. I think the
Mhm.
DeGods look down on those, but I think the idea is interesting. Still, whether you can or not, but overall,
Yeah.
all the DeGods, I think it's a lot of shit. But I think like I don't think it's corny that they're coming back to Seoul or that they left. Like I don't know, someone had to do it. So it's like, what other
Yeah,
entities?
exactly. I mean, okay, so like quickly about DeGod, but like in terms of business and like yeah, business decision, it made sense to bridge because like they were like number one, number two for 6 months, and everyone who were able to buy a DGOD bought a DGOD, had a DGOD on chain, right? Like I think they did some KPIs like checking the number of wallet that have enough sold or was sold to buy a DGOD, and it was like maybe 10% or 20%. So there was no growth in terms of like user acquisition, right? So the bridge would have made sense. Maybe what they should have done is just like leaving the youths on Sol.
The poly is
Yeah.
the quote. Yeah, I agree.
So and now we have like Pudgy Penguin coming up. That's gonna be an interesting fight to the first spot.
Right. Yeah, I think they've kind of established themselves as and then Mad Lads
Mm.
too. I really wish I meant a super rare, but
Oh
I
yeah,
normally mint like shit, so I meant like a pretty good one. It's one of those Galaxy guys, you know what I mean?
shit.
But I sold it, don't have it anymore.
Yeah,
I'm like shit, and they get all things, so good on them. Mad Lads to me is looking
yeah.
like one of those top, you know,
Mm.
D guy.
It's
I
gonna
think.
be it's gonna be definitely interesting. Like yeah, this year is good. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be pretty cool. And yeah, okay. In terms of like yeah, back to back to you, bro. um, in terms of like go-to-market strategy, how do you plan to increase the brand image and like yeah the attention to your platform? Like, what's the play here?
Yeah. So I mean, I think first and foremost is building a product that works and that delivers, and like that's the foundation, right? Because if your plan's audited and you've got a good team and everything checks out, it's like that's like main
Mm.
foundation. But if you need hype too to make, because like we have a lot of connections with like good people in the space and things like that, and we feel like a lot of like the on-chain users know about us and plan on but you have to generate like that surface level kind of like hype and like market share mind awareness. And that's like a few things we're kind of looking at building right now. Like, well, we have this beta coming out. I mean, I think doing the Jupiter Launchpad makes sense because we're built on top of them, but also it's a great some exposure, some other things, partnering with some to do some type of like special benefits in our Discord to kind of get some new folks. We're really kind of this the on like into the DeFi world. So I think that
Mm.
that's one we've got ourselves kind of doing the educations from Jupiter, Flash Trade,
Mm.
Camino, Margin, all the other guys, and connect with other protocols and get our names out and let people know that we're for real and what we're building on chain and all good, and we want to be providing that for folks in the space.
That makes sense. And like other strategy to rebalance like the index will work for GLP, but also for all of the other indexes, or do you have to create strategy for each indexes?
Mostly the same from like a code standpoint. There'll be some
Okay.
differences, but it's the same. We're not going to build them for every what vaults we're releasing, but Jupiter and Flash Trader, like for sure.
Okay. And it's because like there is a lot of volume. Like what do you look for in those indexes?
Yeah, how they like operate, and it's like people are like, well, Jupiter,
Mm.
you asked me too, or
Yeah, it
talk
makes
about it
sense.
privately, and it's like I think like mitigate that risk is obviously calls, but also um, what we build on top of is built into that. There's volume, they're generating the right and they're doing what I don't know how to phrase it.
Yeah. Okay.
Legit protocols,
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have like any ideas of, or yeah, yeah, you mentioned it. I think it was before the stream, so I don't know if I can say
What was it? Go ahead.
like any other like other platform or any other like token that you're looking at to work with next.
Yeah. So we're doing
Okay,
like last trade, and then we're just kind of that'll probably take up like most of this year. So I mean, it'll be pretty far out, but we're looking at different things. No promises at all because it would be, like I said, pretty far down. But I think the team's looking at some stuff with like drift
nice,
potentially, and I would say that would probably be the likely like third thing we look at.
nice.
Um, like if we have a lot of the communities out thing like random and we could build it safely, maybe bonk something, or I don't know what it
Ooh,
would be. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to say maybe there'll be some fun one down the line. I don't know what that look like, especially like, kind of removed from the, so it's like I'm like the speaker rather than the builder, so I go into them making a bonk leverage
okay.
vault or what like, but
And could,
good things
could you
I've heard
create
discussed.
your own indexes?
Uh, yeah, I think I've about something like this too, or we might do like synced pools as well. So the team's really bullish on Sanctum, and our founder
Mm,
talk to their founders a bit. I think like some alpha. I mean, line today,
yes,
but my boss and our founder at Adrastea, he's been kind of saying like this liquid staking on Solana is going to be a pretty big like
makes
meta
sense.
and wave,
Yeah,
and so we might try to look into doing something with like but I know the team hasn't started like working on coding these or anything.
that's interesting. But like also like about the liquid staking, I think I talked about that with like the one of the founder of Mainnet like last year. if the Solana epoch decrease, and I think it's possible if we have more and more validators, right? Instead of 2 days, we will get like as like it could be minutes away of like locking, staking and unstaking the process, right? Is that correct?
You're seeing with epoch changes?
Yeah, like I don't remember why, but like the epoch time can decrease. I think 2 years, 3 years
De-
ago, we went for
decrease?
3 days, and now we are two, right?
Oh, I get what you're saying. I'm not too sure how that would affect things.
Okay,
I'm not deep enough in the liquid staking to
okay,
know how
okay,
that would get affected.
okay. So yeah, but yeah, so that was like a something with. Okay, I don't exactly remember, but yeah, like I'm pretty sure like the epoch decrease and we can go low, but I don't remember how low. So it like it would be it could impact the liquid staking, but long term, I think it could be 5 years. Right? Okay, forget I mentioned it. I don't remember.
I'm still learning about it myself as bro, because
Yeah.
like really smart people I trust, like totally opinionated on the spectrum of liquid
Mm,
staking. Like I think though in the short term it's going to be very relevant for sure.
mm,
But I'm not I'm not experienced enough necessarily to make
yeah.
a qualified statement on it. But I've heard that there's definitely some inherent risks to liquid staking.
Okay.
When you see, like I said on this, I haven't been too in the ETH, but I know like what's Lido,
Lido,
right?
yeah,
I think
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But like Jupiter, like just created their like a liquid staking, like a G Sol. Yeah.
Jupes.
So yeah, probably they are probably into something.
Right, right.
Yeah. Again, like this ecosystem is like it's the velocity of innovation on chain on Solana is insane. Like since you SMB mint, like right, like you saw the ecosystem like changing like 25 times.
Oh man, it was such some days back then. Simple and easy.
Yeah.
Like shit is crazy now.
And
I think like filter thing like crazy trying to chase it all.
100%.
I mean, and if you're a multi person, like
Like yeah. Like when they started to implement like AMM for NFTs, I said like just buy my NFT, sell my NFT and shut the fuck up and give me my 20x.
right.
Like when we had the and then like fucking blur stuff that fucked us all. Fuck that shit, man. Make
Yeah,
NFTs
NFTs were fun.
less liquid.
Yeah, and NFT so fun because you get a fun person to
Yeah,
do. You know what I mean? It's like, and
exactly.
Soul was high then. I remember I got this thing that it was like called like he minted it for like 2 a week.
That's
That's
good.
crazy.
That's
You
what
know what
we
I mean?
want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we want for sure.
We want price to go. But same thing for DeFi, right? Like for your platform, it will be successful if you are able to prove that, okay, I put one soul and I get two soul later.
Right, right. Yeah, and that's kind of like um, uh, everything's all good on chain before we drop this beta. We've been testing it like in
Mm.
the background. We were in the Jupiter LFG round 2 vote,
Yes.
and it was pretty bullish. We were receiving a lot of beta wasn't up yet, kind of delay for the round 3, and it's very important to us that what we're building is clean and pristine for the vote. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Nice.
It's looking good.
Okay, that's cool.
It's like the Flex Lend. Ever seen anything about what they're doing?
Say again?
The Flex Lend. So they're like a USDC aggregator, and I think what they're doing is pretty cool. And I hope to see our USDC on the site. We'll see that when
Oh,
we go live. But
really?
because it's like for some folks doing like being exposed to the market in this way is like too much or too risk on for them. So I think having a USDC vault is like really for folks who haven't they want to like to a bank like 30-40% is crazy.
Yeah, true.
I mean, so
That right?
yeah, shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
Maurice there, he's a good guy.
Yeah, like yeah, it was like a OG SMB. Yeah, it was
Mhm.
nice. Yeah, I think yeah, VP like in the last stream with like Scriber, she said like yeah, uh, I deposited in Flexland, and then like my transaction was rebalanced all the time, and I didn't know where the transaction coming from because I forgot about Flexland, and I had movement in my wallet, and I didn't know what it was.
And that's like a good yeah, so what they're
Yeah.
doing is like look at that right there. So that's like the USDC yield from all the different USDC.
Mm.
So they like that for folks. And something I'll add here is like with Adrastea, we're looking at like 30 to 40%. That all works out. I mean, that's going to be really bullish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a ton of USDC, but I'll definitely be using that as a user.
It works well in a bear market until we
Right.
flip the other way around.
Uh, and then something else. What were you saying?
Yeah, did I forget anything in the?
I think it was just something about.
Okay. Yeah, centralized, decentralized. We want what? Dynamic asset allocation. Yeah, that's good. I have to, bro. Like, I'm creating too much content and editing too many videos. I don't see all of that. I don't have time.
Dude, I'm bullish. I'm bullish on
Oh,
decoders, and he's like super
thank you.
dope. Your camera is so high quality, sound is so high quality. Everything we talked about in DM, like a bit to the schedule, but like you had the pre-doc, like it was super chill and dope.
Thanks,
So
man.
if I hear anybody looking for something that's at the tier
Nice.
that you do, they'll
Awesome.
your way.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yeah, did I forget anything to ask you? Anything that you want to mention before we wrap it up?
I mean, no, pretty much. I mean, for folks still listen to the
Yes.
recording, just wrap it up. You know, we're building automated yield strategies on Sol, highest APYs on at the same time as our launch. So try to use our beta for early incentives and things like that. And check us out on the Jupiter LFG round 3 when that drops. And if you're interested in learning about DeFi, we have a DeFi 101 course, like level 1 up to the top. So come check us out for that.
Yeah. Okay. And I will definitely be a user. So you said like round 3, right?
Yeah, whenever I mean, I know round 2 just wrapped up, so
Yeah.
we'll see when that next one goes.
Okay. So I need to reallocate my portfolio to more Jup, more GLP, and a little bit of Astra. And oh, but I could like get the yield of my position and then buy back Astra. And oh,
Right.
can I?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, one thing. I know we're wrapping it up. So when the token drops, it's going to be a government initially, so we'll form the
Okay.
DAO, people can vote, and basically phase to integrate it with our
Mhm.
we'll vote on how we have some suggestions like, yeah, do you want the yield to go back to your token, or maybe
Mm,
it'll be integrated in the platform some way to kind of maximize your gain.
nice. Could be a bonus, right?
Yeah.
And do you plan to do an airdrop?
Yeah, so that's the big question. All I can say is there'll be some type of early incentive for folks to get part of our community
Okay.
early. So just get involved, and we'll see what happens.
Nice. Okay, that's the word at the end. Get involved. Get involved. Buy GLP and stack it. But yeah, Bruno, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Everyone in the chat, Super Boys, BG, thank you so much for your time. Again, you have all of the links in the description. Burner, yeah, like yeah, the best way to contact you is Twitter, right?
Yeah, Twitter, Discord, whatever.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much again. And yeah, everyone, yeah, like the video, the whole 9 yards. You have all of the links in the description. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next stream. Bye, everyone. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. We'll see you in the next one. But before that, make sure to subscribe, like, and share the video. It's important.